Welcome to Kanerika's podcast, The Digital Shift.
It really is a moment where technological acceleration just feels like an understatement. We aren't talking about small upgrades anymore.
This is a fundamental restructuring.
Exactly, of business itself.
And that's the perfect frame for today. We're doing a deep dive into the accelerating reality of AI adoption, and we're looking specifically at the predictions for 2026. We really need to understand not just what is changing, but how fast and why this next wave is so different.
That's speed.
Yeah.
That's the critical piece of data we have to get our heads around. I mean, look at the consumer side first. Sam Altman said ChatGPT's weekly user base went from 100 million in late 2023 to, well, they're projecting 800 million by early 2025.
800 million. That kind of growth curve just breaks every model we have for tech adoption.
It really does.
So when something moves that quickly with users, the institutional money has to follow, right? What kind of commitment are we seeing from organizations?
The investment is, well, it's staggering. Global AI spending is on track to cross $500 billion by 2026.
Has $1 trillion.
Yeah. And this isn't theory, it's what's baked into budgets right now. And here's the core implication for you. More than 70% of enterprises are expected to have AI integrated into their core mission-critical processes.
So they're moving past the small experimental pilot projects.
Decisively. It's about mandatory, full-scale deployment now.
Which means if you haven't moved beyond that pilot phase, you're already falling behind. So, okay, our mission in this deep dive is clear. We want to distill all this down into key, actionable insights about the future of work, governance, and tech adoption so you can build your strategy today.
Let's start with what might be the most dramatic shift predicted for 2026, and that is the rise of the autonomous AI agent.
Okay, let's unpack that. For the last couple of years, we've used AI as a reactive tool. Smart assistant. You ask a chatbot for a summary, it gives you a summary. But what does this shift to autonomous agentic AI, a proactive system? What does that actually look like in a business workflow?
It's the difference between having an intern who needs constant direction and a team manager who can run an entire project from start to finish. Gartner is predicting that 40% of enterprise applications will be using task-specific AI agents by 2026.
40%. From what, less than 5% just last year?
It's a massive leap. These agents are being given the authority to actually make decisions and execute complex, multi-step processes.
So give us a concrete example. We're not just talking about an AI that suggests the next marketing email. You mean it runs the whole campaign?
Precisely. Imagine an AI agent tasked with launching a new product. It researches the market, it identifies the best channels, it creates the copy and the visuals, deploys the ads,
And monitors performance.
in real time.
Yeah.
And then it automatically adjusts the budget and the messaging based on what's working, all without a human needing to approve every single step.
That is a complete structural change in how companies operate. So if a machine is making these end-to-end decisions, what's the immediate payoff for the companies moving first?
The benefit is huge, and it's hitting the bottom line first. We're seeing this kind of AI-driven automation is expected to reduce operational costs by 20 to 30%.
A quarter to a third of your operational spending just gone.
Right. And when you can do that, the competitive pressure on everyone else becomes immense.
Okay, so this idea of agents having that kind of economy,
Yeah.
that leads directly to our next big prediction, doesn't it? The hyperpersonalization revolution.
It's the second phase of this transformation. AI moves from being a powerful tool to being a truly personal co-pilot in our daily lives. I mean, think about how this changes something like education.
Right.
Personalized AI tutoring will become as common as having a smartphone, offering learning paths that adapt instantly to how a student is doing.
Or in finance and health, where that kind of customization is everything.
Exactly. You'll have healthcare providers using AI to tailor treatments based on your specific genetic markers. Financial advisors deploying models that adjust your portfolio based on real-time market signals. The age of the one-size-fits-all template is it's over.
And we're already seeing how we discover information changing. That whole 10 blue links model feels dated.
It is. By 2026, the data shows that daily use of AI within search engines, getting a synthesized, context-aware answer, is expected to be 3 times greater than using any standalone AI tool.
So people want the verified answer, not the raw links to sift through.
They want the AI to do that heavy lifting for them.
Okay, but here's the crucial point, right? The trade-off we have to talk about. If AI is doing all the synthesizing and the critical thinking, what happens to our own judgment skills?
This is probably the biggest societal challenge in all the data. Cognitive atrophy. It's the classic calculator problem, you know? You use it so much, you forget long division. Yeah. Now apply that effect to high-level strategy and judgment. The research shows that this reliance on Gen AI is prompting 50% of global organizations to require AI-free skills assessments by 2026.
Wow. Half of all major companies are saying, wait a minute, we need to prove our human employees can still think critically without the AI.
It's a signal that managing the user is as important as managing the tech. It puts a huge premium on the skills AI can't automate: empathy, strategic judgment, ethical oversight.
Okay, so that idea of oversight and risk, that moves us perfectly into our next section, governance and security. Because if autonomous agents are handling finance and company data, the potential for disaster it's huge.
And the urgency here couldn't be clearer. Right now, only 6% of organizations have what you'd call an advanced AI security strategy. Just 6%.
That is a shocking vulnerability.
It is, and the content explicitly warns that this lack of preparation is going to lead to the first major lawsuits holding executives personally liable for what a rogue AI does.
Personally liable for an AI mistake. Okay, that completely changes the game. This isn't an IT problem anymore. It's an existential risk for the C-suite.
Absolutely. Transparency, accountability, oversight, these are becoming legal and insurance requirements. We're even seeing new roles emerge, like AI governors, whose entire job is to manage this complexity.
And this is precisely where we at Kanerika step in. We recognize that if you're going to push the accelerator on adoption, you have to have robust, secure controls.
They have to go hand in hand.
Our whole focus is on helping businesses build systems that aren't just intelligent, but that are bulletproof and scalable. We make sure every solution we deploy provides that peace of mind by meeting global standards for security and privacy.
Which is a non-negotiable foundation.
It has to be. That's why we partner with industry leaders like Microsoft, AWS, and Informatica to ensure the systems we deliver are secure from day one and meet all those enterprise-level compliance needs. Okay, let's move on to the topic that's on everyone's mind: jobs. The headlines always scream about job elimination. What's the reality looking like for 2026?
The reality is much more about job augmentation. I mean, 89% of senior HR leaders say AI will impact jobs, but the key insight is that AI automates specific tasks, not the whole position.
Right.
Take that marketing manager again. The AI handles the data analysis and drafts the content in minutes. That frees up the human manager to focus entirely on strategy, on stakeholder relationships, the things that actually require human judgment.
And what's so counterintuitive is which roles are seeing the biggest change. It's not necessarily the entry-level jobs.
That's right. The data shows the greatest exposure is in high-paying knowledge, work management consultants, financial analysts, software engineers.
Why is that?
Because those roles are all about processing and synthesizing information, which is, AI's absolute core strength.
So the real gap isn't between jobs and no jobs. It's between workers who can manage AI and workers who are managed by it. What's the actual payoff for getting those AI skills today?
It's substantial, and it is growing incredibly fast. Workers with specialized AI skills, like prompt engineering, now command a 56% wage premium.
56%. And that's up from, what, 25% just last year?
Exactly. It shows you how scarce those skills are. It's pure productivity driving that demand.
And what about time saved?
Employees using AI are reporting they save, on average, 7.5 hours per week. That's almost a full workday that smart companies are redirecting toward higher value, creative problem solving.
All right, let's take a quick tour of the industries that are seeing the biggest and most immediate gains. Where are the biggest leaps happening?
Healthcare is the fastest adopter, by far. We've seen a 7-fold increase in just the past year. 22% of healthcare organizations are now using domain-specific AI.
And the applications are life-changing, really.
Absolutely. AI for diagnostic imaging is matching specialist radiologists, and crucially, it's accelerating drug discovery from a process that took years down to just a few months.
Incredible. What about on the customer-facing side, like in retail?
Retail is all about driving revenue. We're seeing 69% of retailers using AI report revenue increases, and about a third of those are seeing gains between 5 and 15%. This is all driven by things like recommendation engines and dynamic pricing.
And manufacturing.
There, it's all about efficiency. Predictive maintenance is reducing unplanned machine downtime by up to 30%. Companies like Siemens and BMW are reporting productivity gains of 20 to 25% from real-time optimization and automated quality control.
So for our last section, let's talk about why AI isn't just for the massive tech companies anymore. How is this market actually becoming democratized?
It's really a convergence of three big forces. First, the industry is moving past the bigger is better idea.
Mhm.
We're seeing smaller, smarter, task-specific models that are driving costs way down.
Right, making it affordable for a mid-sized business or even a solo entrepreneur.
For sure. And second, you don't need to buy a supercomputer to run them.
The cloud platforms.
Exactly. AWS, Azure. The pay-as-you-go pricing has completely removed that huge infrastructure barrier. That's why we're expecting about half of all small businesses to be using AI by the end of next year.
And the final piece, for the non-technical person, the no-code tools.
This is the real game changer for access. Simple drag-and-drop interfaces mean a small business owner can build a custom customer service chatbot over a weekend without writing a single line of code.
So before we wrap, just give us a quick rundown of the major players people should know in this new ecosystem.
Sure. In conversational AI, ChatGPT still has the mind share, but Google's Gemini is gaining fast because of its deep integration with the whole Google ecosystem. For more sensitive work, Claude is known for its safety protocols. Creatively, Midjourney still leads in photorealistic images, and for developers, something like GitHub Copilot is basically essential now.
So to pull it all together, the core message of this deep dive is that the AI story has really shifted from experimentation,
Mhm.
from pilots to autonomous core integration across every single business function.
And that transition requires a huge amount of proactive planning, especially around risk.
Exactly, and this is where we at Kanerika reaffirm our commitment. We help businesses adopt AI in a practical, secure, and goal-aligned way. We've actually developed specialized agents like Alan, Carl, Mike, and Susan, designed to fit right into enterprise workflows to improve efficiency and decision-making.
But let's end by turning this back to you, the listener, with a concrete challenge. We mentioned that executives are facing personal liability, that cyber insurance is tightening up. You really have to think about the governance gap in your own organization.
That's the crucial piece of homework, isn't it? If your AI systems are moving toward full autonomy executing complex financial and strategic tasks on their own, what concrete policies must you establish today to manage the risks?
Mhm.
We're talking about biased algorithms, shadow IT, regulatory noncompliance. You have to solve that governance challenge before the first major lawsuit inevitably hits your industry.
A strong point for reflection on the security that has to accompany innovation. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive on the digital shift.
We'll catch you next time for more insights.